want to do a delicious, quick, healthy, colourful lunch for me and Jules, and I want to reflect a bit of optimism in the food. Colour, excitement, textures. So I'm going to do a kind of made-up dish that I've been fantasising about, beautiful salmon tacos. You know, that little flatbread, flaky salmon, salsa, that's what I'm after. It starts with the salmon. We will go in with salt, give it a nice little season up with salt and pepper. And then I really get excited about the idea of spice combinations, allowing the everyday to go somewhere exciting or another part of the world. So this is a Cajun rub, right? It's a blend of spices, things like paprika, oregano, thyme, a little chili, you know, they smell amazing. So look, I'm gonna sprinkle this on the salmon and be very, very generous. So really make a little job of just rolling that salmon and packing that spice around it. And once you kind of really compact it around the salmon, boring, this will no longer be. So let that just sit and kind of take in that flavor. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, salsa. Texture, vibrance, excitement, sweetness, sourness, attack. That, for me, is what a salsa is about. You can spend all day doing all kinds of things, and it might be the salsa that takes you 3 minutes that makes that rock. So, let's do this. I've given these a nice little wash. All I'm gonna do is quite delicate preparation. So, cherry tomatoes, half it and quarter it. It's quite nice to use a variation. And honestly, a good salsa in your life and a little bit of just focus and attention. It's super easy. Then I'll go in with spring onions. And again, thinking delicate. Do you know what? I could not genuinely be happier than being outside, just cooking, listening to that lot. I love it. With the green part of the spring onions, we'll go as fine as we can again. Different flavors will come through. And then here, just take 4 or 3 little bits of basil, right? And then I just roll it up. Could be mint, it could be parsley, it could be coriander, whatever you choose. And look here, purple basil. And then look where it's gone into flour. It's very beautiful. I'll take that. And these are amazing in a salsa. And then avocado. You know, God, my family love these. Try and get a spoon that mirrors the size or shape of the avocado. Put your spoon in between the skin and the flesh, and just ease it in and kind of hold the spoon against the skin, and you'll find it just cups it out so beautifully, and you get that amazing little lobe. Avocado can discolor and oxidize, so a good little trick is to get some acid, lemon, lime, orange, give it a little roll, and then I'll save half for serving my taco, and then I can just squeeze a little bit of juice on this, and it kind of seasons the avocado in a lovely way, but also protects it. It will stay really fresh and green. Little delicate, thin slices. I will add a little chili. I don't want it to be hot, but I like the freshness that a chili gives you. Already, it looks like an amazing summery rainbow. Painter's palette. Then fruit. I'm using a mango. It's got to be a ripe one, right? If you can't get that, pineapple. If you can't get that, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, anything delicious, sweet and sour. You've got the little stem here. So the lobe goes this side. So I'm just going to put my knife in. I'll hit the stone, and then I'm just angling my knife around it, and then just move the mango around, edging off that stone. There's the stone there, you see. I only need half. Take this mango into about 4, and then it's really easy to get my knife under the skin. And once you've got it under the skin, you just literally bend the mango down and rub the knife against the skin, right? It's so colourful, even the bees are floating around. Okay, so now I've sliced up all that beautiful salsa stuff. All I'm gonna give it is a nice seasoning of salt and then a good squeeze of lime juice, and that will be an amazing little salsa. So what I'm gonna do is put my salmon on and get these going. I'll go skin side down. By going skin side down, it's kind of protecting the fish. It's gonna go crispy. I want the salmon to be kind of colored, but kind of blushing on the inside and flaking just beautifully. When I did this recipe first time round, I did it indoors on a non-stick pan on a medium-high heat for about 3 minutes on both sides. It's gonna be so nice. Let me just wash my hands. Next up, let's do the flatbreads as I'm cooking the salmon. It's super, super simple. So you want 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. So for every little taco, 1 tablespoon. And then 4 tablespoons of water go in, and that should make you perfect tacos. I want a little bit of salt in there just for seasoning, and a little kiss of oil. Super simple. So many of us buy tortillas from the supermarket and you can just make your own so fast. It's like a 40-second recipe. So move it around. As the bowl starts to be cleaned, we can get it out, and then I can just give it a little knead on a board. Once you've given it a nice little knead up, just divide that into 4. Take one of those balls. I've got a little flour here just to dust, and we'll just dust away and roll these out thin. They take no time at all. So if I look at the salmon, it's probably ready for a turn now. The skin is looking amazing. Wow. So look, once you've rolled your tortillas out, grab like any plate, dish, saucer, little bowl, and you can cut around it. We can settle for rustic and a little bit wonky, or make it a little bit more perfect. I love both. I love rough and ready, and then perfect just makes me feel like you've cared a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got here. Salmon is doing very, very well, and what I can do, which I love to do, is just grab one side and pull that skin off. Look at that. And it's highly likely that this bit could be the best bit of the whole meal. Crackling, crispy, spicy. So I'll lay that onto the bars and that will render out, and then put this salmon back on that peeled side. Can you see that skin sizzling? Look at that. Oh, the flavour, the texture. My kids fight for it. Like even River, he's 3.5 and he knows. He's like, give me the skin. Give me the skin. No, seriously, like he'll take mine. But what's really interesting, it's still malleable and still sort of quite soft, but the minute it starts to cool down, it goes crispy. So if I take like a rolling pin like this, and I took this skin and just put it over like that, you can kind of get these crazy waves and shapes. Look at that, getting crispy and gnarly. Beautiful. And I can tell that the salmon is cooked gorgeously. If I just apply a little bit of pressure, it just flakes beautifully. Look at that. That in the taco is going to be amazing. So, this to one side. Let's get these tortillas cooking. And look, they're great on a barbecue, but they're equally fantastic in a non-stick pan on full whack inside, right? That's how I normally do them. Look how cool they look. Look as the heat makes them puff up. Little bit of colour on one side and hardly any colour on the other side. So easy to make. Amazing. So as soon as these come down, they're a little bit crispy. So if you put a little tea towel on top, that will make them steam a little bit, make them more pliable and keep them warm. Okay, let's make a lovely couple of tacos. Optional, sour cream, a tiny bit of yogurt. Then I'm gonna take our salmon and I just wanna kind of flake it. Then salsa, and I like to mix it at the table so it's fresh. Look at the colour. Optimism, excitement. So let's embellish now. Look at that, fresh flavours. That ain't boring. And the little bit of juice, the juice that runs off of the salsa is so good. And then you've got those crispy bits of salmon skin, and I just like to smash it up to give you that crunch. A few bits of basil, and there you go. The only thing I might do is take a little bit of chili oil. So let's have a try. As I bend it up, look how even more appealing that gets. A little taco of juicy goodness. Oh, it's dripping. Let's have a little go. Oh, wow. There is a dance going on in my mouth. Texturally, flavour-wise. The salmon just holds the whole thing together. You got that punch of the Cajun spice that just kind of gets you every now and again. And then there's all the brightness, the rainbow. It's just so good. Wow.